no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left.
Side stories.
From your glade.
That's when the cannibalism started.
Side stories. Yes.
Yes. Yes, she would be.
I refuse to acknowledge allegations that I'm Henry Zabrowski. I am not Henry Zabrowski. No.
No, you're not?
My name is Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum
Stevenson.
I actually like that name.
I am not guilty of any podcast crimes.
I kind of agree with that. Chrysanthemum Stevenson can't be guilty of any crimes.
I can't possibly, because the name is derived from
Chrysanthemum,
chrysanthemums.
which I believe is an oil or
There
something.
we go. I dare you to defy me. Look, can I even walk? Look, I can't even. Oh. Look, I'll show you. Look, I'm trying to walk. They can't see.
Yeah. Wow, you couldn't even walk. How could you commit massive amounts of crime? How could you kill a bunch of people?
How could I possibly have killed them with laughter?
Yes,
How could I
indeed.
possibly have the same chrysanthemum?
Well, be careful out there if you're driving, because that car might be driven by a corpse. People are dying of laughter because of Henry Zabrowski's great humor.
Where is my apologist British wife?
All right,
Where is it?
welcome to Side Stories, everyone. Ben hanging out with the newly minted 39-year-old fresh Henry Zabrowski.
Wheelchair, I'm not him.
Wow.
I'm wheelchair bound.
Well, you're about to be wheelchair bound if you can't pick yourself up.
This is actually...
Because you are actually in a very difficult pickle. You're in a predicament. And again, it is a podcast.
Yeah.
We do film for Patreon, but you are down, and now you are almost completely up.
I'm dizzy.
You go.
I'm dizzy because I actually went fully horizontal.
That was really good, really impressive.
It's called a reverse plank.
Wow, that is fantastic.
I
Well,
learned it in childhood jail.
speaking of reverse planks, we do have one update.
Well, I just want to also explain the reference that we weren't here last week. So I didn't get to do my Nicholas Alaverdian impression,
Sure.
and
Yes,
that's what that was.
That's good. If you have to explain it, it's good.
Because at the time it would have been fun, and then I was going to do the bit where I had the oxygen tank, but it was just a lot at once, and I'm already tired. I'm hungover. It was my birthday yesterday.
Absolutely.
39 and Holden.
You are hungover from both alcohol and it seemed to be cake.
We went to the Madonna Inn.
You have your frosting issues.
I do.
I know.
We went to the Madonna Inn, which is one of our favorite places in the world. It's this kitsch hotel.
Is it owned by Madonna, or is this just a clever name?
Yes, that's why the only way you can get in is if you're a 19-year-old background dancer. And you have to have washboard abs and be ready to have hardcore sex with a 65-year-old woman.
I love that, Gilf.
But Madonna Inn is this cool sort of like themed hotel where there's a bunch of different rooms, but what it's famous for are its cakes.
You know what, buddy? Have you learned nothing over these past few years? You're going to go to a fucking esteemed place that has many different rooms. This is Mario Batali territory, pal.
No.
You need to be very careful because now you're out. So they want you young, or some want them old.
Well,
so now that you're getting towards 40, you're going to be in a different kind of predatory market.
I like that.
Because the 70-year-olds are going to be like, come to my hotel. Show me your winky. And now you're going to make another decision.
Well, we can all
for pro-career or anti-career.
And I'm ready to make that decision now. I was too green before.
I know.
Now I know to make the proper decision. Suck that producer's dick.
Sure.
Act like you like it for the 5 minutes that it takes, and then you move on and you get that part, and you get in Top Gun 9.
Also, I want to say, now that every single entertainment entity is going on strike, Kissel and Zabrowski, let's get our show off the ground.
This is the
It's
time.
going to be called Scabs. It'll be based solely on us breaking the picket line, giving them the middle finger. We're working for real cheap, keeping those numbers low. We can't have these actors getting cocky with money.
We just show up. We do. It's like, we'll take $1.
We'll do it for $1.
We do it for $1.
We pay you to do it.
No, we stand with the WGA because also the DGA is then going to strike and SAG is going to strike, and it's going to be an entire year of no content, and we're going to be the only ones open.
Well, I think if we stop making content, much like I've said about porno, we could do a 10-year halt. I need to catch up.
Yes.
That's all I fucking
There's
know.
plenty of television. Oh, so to complete the story.
Yes.
So I went to Madonna Inn,
Inn.
sucked that producer's dick,
Great.
got the part, went right on strike. I mean, I feel like actually kind of that was a part of the offer is that he kind of knew that he had nothing to offer after I finished, which is kind of sad.
That's another good point. If you are new to Hollywood right now, you meet a producer, I can get you in that movie. No, you're on strike. No. This is not the time to get molested.
No.
Because there's no reward.
None. Absolutely. Except for the pleasure of making a cryptic old man smile.
I guess so.
But I went and ate a bunch of Madonna Inn cake, and when it's these giant tiered cakes, they're full of whipped cream, but I know that it fucks with my system.
I know.
But guess what I did?
What?
Built that in.
You had 12 hours carved out for liquid shit.
Well, that was what my birthday really was for.
Did you go and like kiss your fantastic Japanese toilet before you left and be like, "I'll see you soon. Be ready. Be ready."
I feel like my toilet. It's like, number one, it does miss me.
It does know that you're there when you're on it.
Well, because it goes in the room, because every time I walk in the room, it opens up ready to be filled.
It truly does.
It goes like, hungry.
It's very weird.
Hungry, fill me up.
I think that you do need to put like little fake teeth on it, give it little googly eyes, make it a little person. It might become sentient at one point. We just don't know.
But he's happy.
Yeah.
He seems to be, he's well fed. Because then as soon as I was done, and it kind of almost knew.
Oh, my.
Because it was weird. Normally it opens when you approach it, but this time it opened when I opened up the living room door. When I came in the front door.
It just knew.
I heard it, bing dong ding. Fill me, please.
Special occasion.
Yeah, splattered all over it.
If you can be a reincarnated, just one of those guys who jumps down there in a porta potty and swims in human shit, if you can come back as a Japanese toilet, woo, what a life that'd be. And porcelain ain't breaking for a while.
No, it is. It won't. And I'm going to keep that toilet's going to be around until after I'm dead.
Well, speaking of toilets, just a quick update on the Lori Vallow Daybell story.
You guys really need to hop on. I don't know. We have no connection to Law and Crime on YouTube, but they do great coverage. I've been watching all of the court testimonial footage of this trial. It's fascinating.
Yeah, Law and Crime is really good. I will say avoid anything on that Ashley Banfield seems to say. I don't even know who this woman is, but she's constantly defending Lori Vallow, and it's like, what are you doing? Anyway, there has been hair from Lori Vallow found on the duct tape that was used on 7-year-old Joshua, a.k.a. JJ Vallow.
What side of it?
I don't. It was her head hair. It was not her bush hair. Thank you, detective. But you have to ask the tough questions.
That's what I'm here for.
What?
I always figure out. Look, and I can tell by taste alone. Yeah, let me get it in there.
One of the best bush hair experts in the United States.
To do a little bit of flossing, you can tell the coarseness is that this is definitely an inside the butt hair.
So anyone who is still, it is interesting, as we were talking about before the show, she just based on physical appearance alone will always have people that love her, but also so do many male mass shooters.
Yes, they do.
There are just fandoms of these people.
She is
but
not
this
used
is
to.
a big development in placing her at the scene of a horrific crime.
She banked on being held in an innocent gaze because of the way that she looks.
Yes.
So for those of you that, just so you don't know, quick sum up, Lori Vallow, as we've covered many, many times, was a young woman turned into sort of a younger MILF, found a preacher by the name of Chad Daybell who believed himself to be a new form of funky on the street Mormon prophet.
Yeah.
And they were part of a doomsday cult where they believed people were turning into zombies. They went on to kill Lori Vallow's children, JJ and Tylee, and then probably Chad Daybell's wife. Probably there was an attempted murder of Lori Vallow's cousin. Basically, so you know, there's a lot of bodies around these people.
Don't forget the husband.
Oh, of course. And Charles Vallow, who was shot by her brother, Alex Cox.
Yes.
It's a lot to unpack. But just
a lot of bodies around between the Vallows and the Murdaughs. What are we doing with all these bodies?
I mean, and they find that they rise to the surface.
They really
do. They
do.
are trying to, right now, they're diametrically opposing them in court. So Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell are being tried separately. So now you can see, I really have learned a lot watching between the Murdaugh case and this case, watching how these trials go and how defenses are set up and how the prosecutions are set up.
Sure.
It's very interesting because all they're trying to do with Lori Vallow is trying to say, well, she was different when Chad Daybell and her got involved. This is Chad Daybell's force, that he was the one that really was the operating force, and she was just the hot kind of like masthead of it.
I'm going to push back a little bit and say I've seen Chad Daybell, and he was so ecstatic that someone that looked like Lori Vallow was talking to him. Yeah. He would have done anything for her.
Well,
let's just say both of them are probably no need to be around us at any point in the near future.
They're absolutely, I believe, doubly. We're going to, they're still innocent until they're proven guilty. But They are guilty. But they talked about. I listened for 4 hours of this guy. He was the coroner talking about how when they went to dig up the bodies, the idea of you learn a lot about how a crime was committed by how the body was buried.
The bodies were also buried in a pet cemetery, a newly minted pet cemetery, according to Chad Daybell, and obviously that plays into the lore of zombie.
But they were kind of saying at first they were kind of played off. They were put in these sort of it was accidental and it was hidden away and it was put in this kind of shallow grave. But actually, we found out it was put into this the children, when they were found, they were in an ornately constructed professional dig where the roots were cut around in a square.
And that's the least you can do.
It's very difficult to do. Then they put the bodies down. They were all wrapped up, and then they covered them in gravel and then put boards on top of the gravel so that animals couldn't dig it up. So they took a lot about it. They thought about it very thoroughly.
Well, we also know that Lori Daybell's brother's fingerprints were found on the plastic.
Well, Alex Cox is a fucking serial killer, and I'm glad he's dead too.
Yes, recovered with her son JJ's remains. So it's a family
affair
in the worst possible way.
Oh, and then let's get to the story. I want to do the next story.
All right,
we missed a lot of good news.
I know. I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible news.
But this is good news.
Okay.
It was interesting news. So, you found out why so many cow wives have recently been disappointed in the bedroom?
Why?
Is because there's been some tongue extraction.
Oh, no. That's what I like to think about. Cunnilingus from the cows.
Cows are turning up dead with tongues and sex organs removed. Bummer alert.
Yeah, also, I don't care to call them sex organs.
They are sex organs.
I know, but why can't we just call them genitalia?
They are called genitalia in some of these.
Sex organs makes it sound like that's like what a Wisconsin man calls it. That's a sex organ. That ain't a cow.
I think it's better than calling it like a floofy and a dunger. You know what I mean?
I actually don't know. I actually don't know. Also, is the floofy the male or the floofy the female? Because the dunger can go either way.
Floofy's pussy.
Oh, interesting. I actually had it the other way around.
No, I imagine a floofy is a big, flowery cow pussy.
And
that's why it takes a lot of effort and true ingenuity to cut around it.
Some of your first thoughts as a 39-year-old these days.
Well, actually, I don't want to talk about some of the first thoughts because mostly it's just been like, it's time for me to get rid of these devils. I'm talking about myself.
Yeah, I'm sure your wife was so happy as she saw you sucking down all that thing that you're allergic to, which is dairy.
We always have.
She was like, oh, I wonder if we're going to make sweet love tonight. And you're just like,
here's a husband tip across the board. If you're going to eat something you know is going to hurt your tummy, fuck first.
Fuck first.
Always do it. Now, this is real. Now, the reason why I want to do this story is because not very often do we see cattle mutilation stories put in the news. So you will kind of wonder why, number one, why are we covering this? There's a lot going on in the world, but it also shows that this shit is a true mystery and they don't know why these things happen. So now this is a recent bout. This is down in Texas. This was in Madison County near College Station. It's about 100 miles north of Houston.
Okay.
They found 6 cows that were mutilated. Now, what they mean was that their eyeballs were removed. Half of their face. So they saw one side of their mouth was removed in what they call a surgical fashion.
Right.
Which they does not look like it looks like it was knife cuts and it looks like it was not done by predators.
Yeah, that's what the news says, a straight, clean cut with apparent precision.
Yes. And that the tongue was also completely removed from the body. And the main thing here is that they also have no blood. That these things are drained from blood. They are not actively they are not
weird.
messes. It's really fucked up. And then also their genitalia, to use your favorite word.
Sex organs.
They were cored out, right, in a way that is, again, being what's the deal with these anal coring machines? How expensive do I have to do a subscription service for everything?
Why do we think that the UFOs would be more intelligent than us?
We don't.
They might just be local yokel rednecks, and that's why we're they take our dumbest. What if they think they're taking our smartest? Because they're really stupid, and they're just out here pilfering our fucking cow dicks and pussies?
You are not too far off from legit questions of that idea of why?
What if they are just the ones that they sent on a boat because they're too dumb to be on island Clark, and then they just come here and now they're going to be extra stupid?
There is a theory of let's say you have this massive dying alien civilization someplace, right? And maybe that's one of the ideas of nuts and bolts UFOs is that they're sending out these sort of like recon beams to kind of see where else they can go, or they're researching. But why do we assume they're sending their A team?
They wouldn't.
Because they need their A team. If they are on a dying planet, they're probably like, well, we need these guys. Well, we could take the Roger Clinton of the Pleiadians and send him out because we're not really missing him. And then if he actually figures it out, I mean, this is a whole Kevin James plot that we're not even allowed to pitch.
Well, not right now.
We're not even allowed to pitch these ideas.
We stand with the union.
I stand
activists,
next to
them. Not the the unions are fucking over the people that are in the union action. We stand with the people. We stand with people.
We stand with any person.
We stand with people.
I see people, any pencils, I'm right there. But you know what they say? What's weird about these bodies is that they are also, that this is the next level of mystery, is they are not then being picked over by scavengers.
That's the interesting thing. They say they're leaving the meat under the removed hide untouched. So would this now then say, this would not be the chupacabra? Because wouldn't the chupacabra like that meat?
Well, chupacabra makes tiny little bites and little sucks.
But don't they take all the blood out of their victim?
Yeah, but normally it's a smaller creature. It'd be a smaller, unless they are herds
so we're thinking
of
UFOs here.
They're good. Well, this is the thing.
Or does somebody have a cousin?
We don't know.
Because this is a lot of cattle mutilation.
Well, we see. So this is one, like, we've seen this time and time again. In Oregon, in 2019, we covered the same exact story. There was a group of cows found the same exact way. They asked themselves. There are a lot of people saying, like, these police officers are all asking themselves, like, why? Like, what exactly is the purpose? You know, everyone's saying aliens. There's one guy that's saying that he thinks it's a cult. Some kind of cult activity.
Well, that would be interesting. A cow-related cult who they worship perhaps the genitalia of said cow.
Are they trying to make cows smile? And then you cut out the thing. We're like, now he's smiling. You'll laugh at my jokes now, cow.
So you're saying this is Jared Leto being meta for his next role as Joker. Is that your prediction here?
Yeah.
I actually would blame most crimes on Jared Leto until proven it wasn't Jared Leto.
I think that he's up there. I definitely put him in the top 5 possible. Where's Jared Leto first? That's the first question I asked. Where's Jared Leto? Is he in Oprah's compound?
He might be. Well, what's interesting as well is this is not unique to this area. Madison County authorities discovered 5 similar incidents in the border in Brazos and Robertson County. Brazos, by the way, Ed Larson produced a little special out there where they roasted the border.
Yeah, it means arms, right?
Is that what it means? Brazos means arms. Arms County.
You see, I think these commercials that I'm doing for Babbel are really kind of catching on. I haven't
integrated marketing.
You see, I know they won't pay us. Technically, we should get paid extra for that. For what I just did.
We'll send them a message.
Yeah.
In the middle of our cow mutilation bit about is it Jared Leto or is it aliens, we also mentioned Babbel.
See, that's it. That's what it is.
So this is according to the Madison County Sheriff's Office. They say the other cows were found in the same condition, lying on one side with the exposed side of their face cut along the jawline and the tongue, once again completely removed. What is the significance of this?
I don't know. I
would say also, you got to take that meat. You got to be respectful.
Yeah. Why lips? Lips
I don't know.
I honestly,
they're not eating it.
All of the food I've eaten, I've never seen lips be offered once, except in my beautiful wife.
Oh,
but I've never once thought of that, because there's a lot of conjecture here. Because maybe they go and they're interested in our kind of the way our animals are, the way their DNA is comprised. Who fucking knows? There's also some
cow?
talk. There was talk about that was one of the contingencies of the Gaeta Treaty that
what you talking about now?
Eisenhower signed a deal with the Greys when he went on that
Gaeta Treaty.
The Gaeta Treaty.
Gaeta Treaty.
Yeah, they went and they. See, President Eisenhower, as you could say,
we got these quote marks over this, right?
No, it's
okay.
Absolute fact. He went on what its quotes are was that President Eisenhower had an emergency dental surgery
I've heard
in
this.
Florida. Yeah. But what that was
very possible.
was that no. He had look at his teeth. That's a general's teeth.
Yeah, that's a general's teeth.
What do you mean? He wouldn't even allow surgery.
When I think of generals, I think of good hygiene and good teeth.
He can't be put under because he doesn't trust anything while he's asleep. He never slept.
Look what happened to Joan Rivers. I was thinking about this the other day. Poor fucking Joan Rivers. Where's the accountability on that? Because I was watching Spaceballs, and she plays beep bop bop bop.
Technically,
And where's the accountability?
Probably the first thing that we could see about Kanye West's spiral downward was with losing his mother during surgery as well. She was trying to get breast augmentation surgery, and she died while she was under anesthesia.
I wonder if there's a way to do it where you just numb it.
Yeah.
All right.
I say what you should do is you should just fill them full of corn. Just squirt corn in there.
So anyway,
what was I saying?
You were talking a lot.
Something really, the Gaeta Treaty, which is completely real. And so part of that treaty was they think that, they made an agreement with the Greys.
Yes.
That they would give us Wi-Fi in exchange for us giving them about 150,000 humans and animals.
Every year.
I don't know, but I didn't really get into the guts of the terms.
To be honest with you, I like Eisenhower. He gave a great speech leaving office, worried
the military-industrial complex,
a series of things. Also, it was a unique time, which would be called socialist by today's perspective.
Even though he was like the most Republican man in the world, but he also tried to take care of America.
Times have changed, haven't they? But now this is really an important situation that happened with him.
Oh, God, one of the most crucial moments in his entire presidency. Right. I can't believe, because you imagine if he actually got sick on the soup and threw up in the lap of a Gray.
Oh,
remember President Bush?
I do.
When he did it,
it was funny.
I'm 39 years old.
Even war criminals choke on pretzels.
That was a Jay Leno highlight.
2 of the cows had their genitalia and anuses removed.
Hey.
So most of them, they're just going for the pussy or the dick and balls. But then a couple of guys are like, I'll take the butthole
Let's
too.
do a double dip.
Is it one of those add-ons? Is that an extra side? Do you pay?
About VIP?
I'm talking, is that an extra 50? Is it a plus $50? Is that a VIP?
I don't know. But I do think that when you're coming back with it, you can be like, hey, you're asking me for 9 cow pussies, but want some of these assholes too?
I also have some assholes for you. Yes. So again, that was the circular cut, the same precision. It is just weird, dude. They do say that farmers tend to be fairly happy. But I can't imagine they're very happy when they see their cows mutilated.
That's money, man. And also it
is money.
They
You're
have
right.
some sort of they have Marcus talks a little bit about it. There is an emotional contingent as well with your
they
livestock.
also have the ability to kill them.
Oh, they have to.
Yes.
And but they also feel the same way, think about their own children, as they understand they could wipe them out and they could just make a whole new batch.
Well, we'll get to that story here in a second. Since April in Colorado alone, 196 cows were found mutilated. That was in October of 1975.
This is what started the entire cattle mutilation fascination.
So 75, that's a long time ago.
And we've seen
it's almost
instances
50 fucking years ago. We're getting old.
But there's been dozens since. So it is a mystery. We don't know why it is as such. People like to blame aliens, obviously, because it's fun. But at the same time, exactly cui bono. What do the aliens get out of it? What do the cows get out of it? I say very little.
If you're a cow, you're not getting much out of it.
I think cows should go on strike.
I agree.
The cow CA.
I also love that people are like, they blame cows for farting, but then cows are like, we're only here for you to eat.
You put me here, dog.
In 1980, the FBI actually closed its investigation.
Yes.
And they just said it was because of common predators. But that shows you for 5 years, the FBI had their weird little smoking man be like, what's going on with these assholes?
This is still FBI, though.
Yeah.
So these FBI guys are still that's the coolest job. If you're going to be in the FBI,
dude,
the guy who's tailing me must be so bored. But everybody, that's so fucking cool to be able to that. That's the X-Files.
That is literally the X-Files.
It's fucking awesome.
If you can get that assignment, that would be so. But we wanted too much.
We wanted too much. But I feel like in the end, that's where we would have been good in the FBI. But we would have been bad at the physical obstacle course. I would have failed a lot of the drug tests. I don't think that I have the diligence. I don't like wearing a tie.
Although, you know what? When you do go undercover, you have to take the drugs.
Oh, yeah, that's the coolest part.
If you're undercover with a meth ring, you got to be number one guy.
Yeah, dude. What I need to do is go with if they could use me to go into undercover of Comic-Cons. Wouldn't that be cool? And then I just mix amongst the nerds and stuff. And the only drug I'm on is sweet pixie sticks.
Absolutely. So we have no idea what's going on right now. But yes, the idea is UFOs, some kind of weird ass cult, or again, some weird ass cousin came to town and he done what he does.
He just doesn't do that. He hates lips.
Live from your grave.
Also, did you see that story? I don't really have the article or anything here, but that massive crop circle that pulled up.
Well,
there was a crop circle, but it was quite unique.
Marcus and I have a loaded topic.
Okay, good.
Last podcast topic that we're going to do called the sad world of crop circles, because
it's hard to do.
It is hard to do, but it has largely been debunked that most of them turn out to be but the ones that aren't are just some of I like them to stay kind of mysterious in a way, because it's kind of cool to have that last bastion of true mystery.
Yeah, it's always
that art can do. Art, if that is just artists and artisans doing it, it's fucking incredible.
It's the 1%. It's like a 99% could be fake, but what's the 1%? Also, they're not fake. It is really cool when you see them do it in fast motion. You're like, yeah, we're working.
No, it is cool. Yeah, but they are largely debunked, unfortunately.
Yes, except for the ones that aren't.
Except for the ones that aren't. But still, they're probably soon to be bunked. They're currently bumped.
39 and losing your creativity, my friend.
I know. I have to. This is the thing. I'm going to start wearing power suits. It's all about investments now. I'm all talking about hustle and grind how I'm going to talk about Nacho fucking Texas.
Nacho
and NFTs. That's my
Texas.
version of NFTs.
Already
or
out. NFTs are already out.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this real quick. 39 bodies were found in the investigation of a cult in Kenya. Now, this is a group of people that have been following a guy by the name of Paul Mackenzie, who was moved out of because I guess there's an area of Kenya called, it's a tourist destination that actually sounds beautiful it's called Malindi. And he's designated as a cult leader. And what he's telling people to do are starve themselves in the name of God so they could see him faster.
Now, and this is interestingly enough, I went to a church growing up called Good News Fellowship Church, and it may be in relation to this church that he is, air quotes, working for. It's called Good News International Church, or GNIC. If you want to be short with it.
Yeah.
Yes, he says starvation is the way to God, which obviously is not true, because truly God said, if you do want to take it literally, eat all the shit that I gave you.
You're supposed to eat all the shit.
Literally,
that's why I put it here.
Yes, that's the whole point.
But actually, we find out, the quickest way to go to God is what Gwen Shamblin found out, because Gwen Shamblin also said you should be skinny for God. But what she found out, the quickest way to go to God is to crash your plane on your way to a Trump rally. And that sends you right to, that's the diamond, that's the Delta Diamond Club going right to God.
What a stupid way to die.
She sucked. She was another one that told people to starve. It's very similar because they call it fringe, but it's kind of like bolted into being humble for Jesus, which is so it's about fasting and beating the living shit out of your children. That's kind of what they focus on.
Absolutely horrible. According to Malindi Sub-County Police Officer Jeff Kamboy, he said that there were more shallow graves that have yet to be dug up. Currently, the death toll is, as Henry said, 43, because they did find 4 further people who were dead, completely emaciated.
Yes.
And it looks like this man is, again, the reason for all of this.
Well, he's saying I'm not a cult leader.
Well, why?
He's saying
that they get off on watching people slowly suffer and die?
Yes, they do. I think that they like the fact that they'll do anything that they ask them to. Paul Mackenzie basically said, I'm not a cult leader. I led a church that some people gave me grief for, but I closed it down, and now I'm just a man who lives in a village. But the thing is what he's done is kind of brought people from all the neighboring villages around to this kind of like in the middle of nowhere, beautiful, idyllic, but very quiet area of Kenya, that he's created these 3 villages named Nazareth, Bethlehem, and Judea.
Oh my God.
And he's been baptizing followers and then just straight up telling them that they just got to stop eating, that God is going to make you live. But you'll see him by being super hungry, which is probably true because you get fucking delirious when you're starving.
Yeah, you start tripping balls. You could also just take mushrooms, trip balls, and then follow that with a fantastic dinner. So yes, the followers that were starving at the pastor's instructions. Police have said there were dozens of shallow graves. They have just really kind of started digging this past Friday. So
yes.
Who knows how many freaking people, because he has been arrested twice before, in 2019 and in March of this year in relations to the death of children.
Yes, and
each time he was released on bond. How many times? This is the thing. I'm like we got to be. I don't think people should be incarcerated because they can't afford to get out of jail. In this case, they probably could have kept him in there because it seems like he was killing a bunch of kids.
I feel that there is a complicated relationship in this part of the world with religion, and
As opposed
how
to here, where it's so
we've
smooth.
got it wrapped up.
Yeah, we're nailing it.
We really get it. But there is a bit of that. We see that. Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell is actually a really good example of it.
A little bit.
Of a bunch of cops not wanting to get involved because they look at this as some weird religious thing that we don't want to have to kind of put our jurisprudence into. We don't want to fucking mix with any of this because it gets complicated for us. Because they're being pussies, and they don't want to face the ire of the church, even though the church is, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if the church was actually any good, it would tell you to do your job and find these criminals and get them out of our system.
And the church is just this, the air quotes, the church is an amorphous, what is it?
Yes.
And of course, evangelicalism, I believe, has been so polluted by politics and whatnot that, it's just very interesting. Air quotes, the church. What does that mean to every different person has a different idea of what that means.
And it's a highly complicated issue because of consent. Because if you're over the age of 18, you're allowed to go do whatever you want. If you want to go and commit yourself to some man you just met and everybody's going to starve themselves to death. We talked about this with Heaven's Gate, too.
Go for it.
You're absolutely
allowed.
I
say don't go for it. You can. Did you hear Cool Church? My least favorite of all churches is Cool Church.
Always.
I actually like
anything that says like love Christ and graffiti, like makes me just melt in pain.
Skating and God. He was singing Jesus, 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 like Peaches.
Ugh.
But he said Jesus instead, like he was Bowser, but Bowser for God.
Absolute garbage.
Well, Henry, I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you a story.
Oh God.
This has animals, but there's no religion in this story.
Oh God, no. What?
A Sunderland man. Sunderland.
I don't like the tone.
His name was David Lee. He's 40 years old. You're 1 year away. He appeared in Magistrate because this takes place in the old South Shields. He was charged with carrying out a sexual act involving a herring gull, which is a bird.
Oh,
and so he was fucking a bird.
Yeah. Well, from what I heard was that he.
No, from what I heard. Well,
from what I heard was.
Well, this is an offense because there's an Animal Welfare Act of 2006 which says you don't fuck the herring gull. And so, according to CCTV footage, which was played in court, the defendant was kneeling down in an alleyway around 1 a.m. with a wild bird between his legs. He is seen pulling his pants off and appearing to masturbate with the bird close to his groin while watching pornography on his phone before kicking the bird away and walking off.
I'm really glad we got into
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? So anyway, the court heard that Lee was charged with the following. On Thursday, August 18th last year.
I'm looking up a herring gull because I want to just first of all see, oh, wow, holy shit.
They're huge. They are big and they are beautiful.
Ooh, yeah, look at the tits on that herring gull. Yum. Who doesn't want to have part of that? Big titty herring gull. Have you been on that subreddit?
No, I
Big
have.
titty herring gulls? Man, oh man, some of the nipples on those. Then you wonder, like, birds aren't even supposed to have nipples.
No,
then
they're
like,
dinosaurs.
this is AI, another crime. Another AI-based crime.
They're dinosaurs. Lee wantonly or unreasonably did an act where he took a wild bird and undertook a sexual act where that caused unnecessary damage to the bird.
Yeah, it sounds like the damage is unnecessary.
Yes, to the herring there. And around 1 a.m., the defendant was seen chasing the gull down the road. The second piece of footage, the defendant found the bird and then did what he did with it there. So he was chasing it around.
Yeah, these guys, he's bored. You know what he needs? A fidget spinner. This really, if you do it in British accent, because I'm so used to hearing these stories in sort of a Florida accent or Texas accent or a Wisconsin accent, but just hearing them go over these details are really, really fun. On Thursday, August 18th last year, Sunday, Lee wantonly, unreasonably did an act where he took a wild bird and undertook a sexual act whereby unnecessary suffering would cause that animal. In the third piece of footage, it is clear that the defendant is masturbating. The defendant places the bird close to his groin and in between his legs. He goes back to his phone and continues with the act.
So, I guess...
Well, so
it's
he
kind of
killed
weird.
the bird in the process of masturbating with it?
I don't believe he killed the bird.
Again, I don't think this
the
is
bird
Penny.
just ran off and was just like, guys, you don't want to know what just happened to me.
No, he just got treated like Brendan Fraser and Terry Crews, and he's going to go and he's going to stop the Golden Globes.
Please,
because the Golden
God.
Globes need to stop.
Who
They literally are
cares?
fucking garbage, and all you do is get pinched
Well, that's good.
if you're a buxom young man.
Bring your personal issues into the episode.
No,
there.
I'm just saying.
So-
I'm glad I didn't get groped by the foreign press, but I also
what?
know now if I could have just sucked one dick, I could have been James Corden.
I know, buddy.
It could have been me.
I've
and now
been-
you're saying they canceled. Can you believe what's this whole world coming to? They canceled James Corden.
Did they cancel that show?
Yeah, finally.
Oh,
Christ.
God. So according to, again, the woman, I believe this is one of the magistrates or something, they say he pulls his trousers up and gives a kick to the bird. He picks up his phone and starts to walk off.
Yeah, man.
So he jerks off, kicks the bird.
I know.
And I say, why are you going to kick the bird?
You don't give him any seed.
You don't going to kick the
You're not
I think that would have been even more gross.
You're not gonna hang out with this fucking. You're gonna hang out with him. Because
Well-
at this point, that's a date.
Anyway,
My question is, if you're jerking off with the bird, why need pornography?
well, that's the thing. That's where I'm a little bit confused.
I'm
I'm confused by the whole thing. But if did he just want a warm anything? There's no
TikTok.
picture of this guy.
TikTok's ruining everything.
Yes, according to, again, Kay Gilbert, one of the chair of magistrates, she says the word bizarre has been used on more than one occasion. And
Bizarre.
I do see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
bizarre.
remember that song? How
How
bizarre.
bizarre. I think that's what this was about.
Yeah, I really do think it might have been.
A man masturbating with a herring gull in an alley at 1 o'clock in the morning.
We
Actually, this is a picture of the guy. Doesn't look like a bird fucker, but he is.
what does a bird fucker look like?
Actually, now that I look at his face, he looks like a bird fucker.
Well, he's definitely looks. Yeah, he's angry that he got caught bird fucking.
Well, what do you say?
I'd say.
I feel like if you're dating,
Squawk.
if you're getting a call,
I'm half bird. That's my mother.
oh, like that Kids in the Hall sketch with
Yes,
Bird
Bird Lady.
Lady. I love Bird Lady. If you get a call from a significant other, I'm in jail. Now, you're never going to be like, oh, what happened? Unless, of course, he's a hero, a vigilante who saved the day, but the cops don't quite know he's a hero yet. They arrested everyone.
That's your best.
But you're
guess.
thinking-
That's your best hope.
That's your best hope. Otherwise, DUI. You're like, okay, I understand you're an idiot. Fine, I'll go fucking pick you up, Tommy, you moron. I fucked this herring gull.
Oh, I'm not calling Natalie. I'm calling you.
I'm going to let you stay the night.
You don't.
You're
call.
staying the night.
No. You don't call. That is not a call for a significant other.
You
That
can
is
give
a
me a
call,
call.
for a
And I'm going to tell you one thing.
sketchy friend.
I'm gonna-
Call somebody who owes you money.
I'm going to tell you one thing, though, Henry. I will pick you up. Don't even worry about it. But you are going to spend the night because I need you to have at least just 7 contemplative hours.
Yes.
And then we'll pick you up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Sharp.
no
problems.
Lock me in a room. I should
Yep.
be somewhere.
Just for the night.
Because obviously I'm like, well, I can't be trusted.
No.
Because especially if I don't even dare put it on anything. But a Hitchcock movie?
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like The
God.
Birds? What
I
is this?
love that movie.
Pornography?
That movie was fucking scary,
I'm trying to think of
bro.
another bird-based film.
Oh, there's so
Bird
many.
television?
Well, any sort of, the Ken Burns,
What?
those kind of, the movie about the Earth. Those movies about Earth, planet Earth.
That's not Ken Burns.
Whatever.
David Attenborough.
Oh,
And as you can see, glorious seals. Glorious. Did you remember that video we showed him, the Fernandate? Everybody's still mad about the seal.
Fernandate?
The seal is fucking forcing itself on the penguin.
yeah.
Rough day to have a tuxedo on.
Indeed. All right. Well, let's move on. Should we do more
I could cover a
murder?
little bit more about Nicholas Rossi, but we covered a little bit more. Just go into that story because I was lampooning him, but the Nicholas Alarvarian / Nicholas Rossi has a really good Dateline out right now, and it really illustrates this dude is a serial rapist that has been on the run for a long time, and he worked directly for the House of Representatives of Rhode Island. And the man that was supposed to, in Dateline, there was a fantastic mini interview with one of the former House of Representatives from Providence. And this dude, that cut to this guy in a navy blue tracksuit with a big gold chain. He's like, "There was the House of Representatives from Rhode Island." And it was like, oh yeah,
You
that's
sound like
right.
our business manager when you do that.
Anybody can be a House of Representatives member. It can literally be. It's so easy to be one.
Dude, George Santos just had to cast a crucial final vote.
I am just
It is-
how is he still voting? How is he still doing shit? But Nicholas Rossi worked hard because he lied about this is a very sensitive story. He lied about being sexually assaulted while being a foster kid. This is Nicholas Rossi. We know that he did, but they're building up. He also then
he's a serial criminal, liar,
he's a
everything
real
wrong.
criminal. Same thing with George Santos. These are actual, like, God knows what other crimes that they have attached to them.
I'm not going to put Santos into this. No, these are very serious charges. He also allegedly tried to say that he was unable to walk during the Dateline
That was the bit I was doing.
So no, I know.
Yeah, because he was like, you can't even say, can you say I can't even walk?
Yes.
How could I possibly have sexually assaulted if I can't even be stationary in a chair?
He can't even walk.
It's stationary, and if you look, they say, Nicholas Rossi had tattoos, as you can see right here, upon my forearm here. Good sir, you can see. These tattoos are no longer there, which is true, because then he had his weird fucking helper wife woman paint him pink. Oh, now I'm back in this position.
Oh, yeah, buddy, you really need to try to get up. There we go. Come on, worm your way up there. Your zipper's down. They also said... your penis. He told NBC, again, it was difficult to hear him because he also wore an oxygen mask over his mouth and nose.
Absurd. It's absolutely absurd. I am Nicholas Rossi.
So anyway, he seems to be a very dangerous man.
That man, he's going to be in jail soon. They're waiting to extradite him from Scotland now, and it's going to happen very soon.
He cries. There's footage in this Daily Mail article, and you really have to see it. He's wearing the oxygen mask. He doesn't need it.
No, it's flopping off his face. It's incredible. It's the best bit I've seen.
Did you see when she tries to help him
the best.
up?
And he's like, damn it, Marjorie. Damn it, Marjorie, hold my lapels.
Yes, it reminds me of, I believe there's a character from Naked Gun who could actually walk or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the guy that's from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
What's his name? That fucking incredible actor. Nuns on the Run.
Nuns on the Run.
That's the other movie he was in.
Oh, fantastic.
But his wife is just, this is another fucking Miranda Knight, who's just like, she's another troubling human being. He's going to be in a concrete square soon.
Yes, according to Miranda Knight, she says, we were once a normal family, but thanks to the media.
See the one with the picture of him with the top hat on? Looking like, oh God, I love this. I love this little fucking weasel bitch. I love him so much. He's such a piece of shit. Just because if you look at, there's a picture of him in a full 3-piece suit with the oxygen mask on. It's connected to nothing. And then he's got a bowler hat on. He is a James Bond villain. Like if you found it's the bag cereal version of James Bond.
I got you.
Oh, look at the velvet suit.
I do like the velvet
God,
suit.
he's such a little wiener.
He wants to be both Kevin Spacey in real life and in A Usual Suspects because, again, he is faking this entire thing. And wow, what a weird...
Well, because he also, remember,
I'm always surprised that these people have wives.
Because he also faked his own death. You remember that story? Because he's faked his own death, and he put out when he was hiding from the first rape charges before going to Glasgow, he faked his own death.
Jesus.
And I believe his final words that he had recorded were like, "Go then and face the light." It was some weird thing. It was so fucking great.
An obituary dedicated to him appeared online in several news outlets that he had died in February of 2020. Obviously, that did not happen.
The reports of my death are greatly exaggerated.
Wow. So on Friday, October 28th, this is obviously last year, the U.S. Embassy in London issued a diplomatic notice for supplementary extradition requests, requesting the extradition of this D-bag.
Oh, yeah, they're going to get him, too. They're going to get him. They're going to wrap him up.
Jeez,
he deserves it.
And these go all the way back. It's 2008 is the first sexual assault.
He's a serial rapist and he's a very bad person.
Yeah, they say 2008, convicted of sexual assault.
Again, he's innocent until proven guilty.
2017, he had fraud in Ohio. Former foster mom in the same state accused him of stealing $200,000. February 2020, he faked his own death. December 2021, he was arrested at the hospital in Glasgow.
Yeah, because he was in fucking, he went because you had COVID.
He got
hospitalized for COVID, and they arrested him like right there. One of the only pro-COVID moments I saw.
January 2022, he was ordered in custody. He was freed from jail, and now, of course, again, he is he's still in jail as of this time.
They're gonna get him. We're gonna get him soon, and then we're gonna get him. We're gonna really lump him up.
Rise from your grave.
And here's a little bit of a warning for those of you know, you guys near the UC Davis area. Apparently, there is a there is a
This shit is-
stabbing spree going on right now that is kind of all coming together. They're kind of
Yes.
all right now. The witness descriptions is that they're saying a light-skinned male, possibly Hispanic, between 19 and 23 years old, 5'7", 5'9", long curly hair, is saying he's stabbing homeless people instead, like brutally, very, very. And a student, he stabbed a student by the name Kareem Abu Najim. And it's very, very sad. And it's just really scary. We covered last week that there are young men that are going missing in Austin, turning up dead. Chicago, we're also seeing a lot of reports, kind of the same MO. People going to something like an Uber and then never getting to their location.
And-
people wandering off drunk, not getting back to wherever they were at. And it's just scary. It always was kind of intense to be young, but just make sure you know who you're partying with and you trust the people that are driving you home.
Well, it is interesting, especially here because specifically in Austin, I know it's mostly men. I believe it's all men that have been killed at that point. And I was watching. Now I don't take it with a grain of salt because I did see it on Instagram, but it does seem as if there's blank spots of the cameras where the cameras are in Austin, and it looks as if the person is committing these crimes where they know there's. So maybe again, I'm always like law enforcement, but who knows? But someone who knows the makeup of the city and understands how to get away with media.
I mean,
very
honestly,
scary.
you'd be surprised. Sometimes people who work utility companies also kind of know those kind of, depending on where those stations are, where the cameras are held.
Very, very good point. If I was, and this is my advice to the Austin PD, I'm here for you, number one.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Go
Good.
Go to open mics, because the thing is, you know for a fact, if this guy does do comedy, like, I killed 3 people last night.
Oh, yeah.
And the
They're
hardest part
desperate.
about it was, I forgot my shovel. Like, whatever.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
tell a joke about it. And then just be like, I hear there's some truth in comedy. And then because that's how these people,
Well, you go up to them,
psychopaths are serial killers and stand-ups.
Real
There's
close.
There's a close.
Real close. So if you see a guy doing bits, right, the key is, because every comedian also only ever really wants to talk about themselves. So if you just ask them, so how'd you come up with all the incredible material?
About being a serial killer.
They will just-
It seems like you're really there.
That's how you get them.
That's how you get them.
We'll see.
All right. Well, I believe it's time for Hero of the Week.
I need a hero.
Okay, this hero, it's interesting because you might not think they're a hero at first.
Oh, that's great. I love that intro.
A man wakes up in horror to discover his puppy has chewed off his big toe. But it turns out indeed, in a bizarre twist, that the puppy chewed off his toe because he had 2 blood clots in it, and it was about to go right to his brain.
I mean, I hope it knew.
This is why if Jerry starts sucking on my toes or puffing, who I just had to give a bath yesterday, and I had to shave his butthole because the hair was getting too long and the poop kept on sticking in India.
Yeah, it's just like father, like son.
Yes, indeed. When you start chewing on the toe, I say, well, you know what? Now I'm going to the doctor. He woke up. He woke up on the sofa, and he looked at his right toe. It was a bloody stump. The 64-year-old was like, oh, my God.
So he slept through his entire toe being consumed by a dog?
Isn't that the dream? So he's 64, and he woke up, and this 7-month-old puppy, it's a little bulldog named Harley, he was like, God damn it, dog, you ate my toe.
You literally ate my toe.
He went to the doctor. It turned out it was a potential lifesaver. Medics later said he lost feeling in his feet due to 2 blocked arteries in his legs. David was a granddad from Cambridge, and he said without that dog chewing on his toe, he never would have known, and perhaps he would have died.
God bless. I don't know if you know if the puppy's always right, but I've heard this about dogs, right? I've heard this, that was like, someone said this, I forgot what, this is a very, game of telephone anecdote. But the idea of like someone was on a plane and dog was next to them going crazy and they found out it's because they had cancer.
Oh.
But it's like, again, I don't know how you know when a dog knows.
Well, you might have asked, why did he sleep through this, as you did, Henry? He says, my puppy had near enough chewed my big toe off. It chewed down to the bone and cracked it. But because of all of this, I discovered that my foot is completely numb and he can't feel anything. So that is why he's like, ooh.
So he didn't know until the dog was fucking gnawing on his appendages.
I feel like I would know
was-
if my feet are numb. Like, how do you walk on numb feet?
Well, this is what I was talking about this with Marcus on the phone yesterday, but this is how toxic masculinity hurts men as well. I know we talk a lot about how toxic masculinity hurts other people, but when it comes down to
I saw some toxic femininity at the end of the Willie Nelson concert. A woman violently hit her man multiple times.
what do you do?
I did yell. And I said, you leave him alone!
You leave him alone! But no, the idea that you don't go to the doctor, because you think
I
you're not
know.
worth it. And then you're walking around. He's not even thinking about his body. If your toes are so numb
I go
that
to
someone could chew them down to the
Yeah.
bone.
Yeah, I am in immense. I have a hangnail right now that I feel. So I don't need. I know my toes are not numb.
No. You gotta snip the hangnails because then they can grow into cancerous tumors.
I go to the doctor vicariously through Marcus. I'm there all the time. I'm there all the time.
I always do that. I was a guy when he goes in. I'm like, hey Marcus, could you ask a little about this little thing I got here too? Just
Take a picture of it. So anyway,
Doctors love that.
his wife wrapped up his toe, rushed David to the hospital, and Dave was put on antibiotics to stop an infection caused by the dog bite. So it also could have killed him.
In the end,
But he did find out indeed.
God bless.
That
That is crazy. I can't believe it. But you got to be careful. Again, check your goddamn toes.
Yeah, apparently
I'm
you
doing
do.
toe refurbishment right now.
Oh, sure.
I had to use that. I have to use this. I have very bad. This is a disgusting story.
Sure, great.
But I was living with Ed Larson in college. We were in an apartment complex that had we just the fact that they allowed us to even rent an
And they're
apartment.
still doing that. There's another group of kids that they're allowing to live there now.
I can't. No, they tore the whole building
Did
down.
they really?
Oh yeah. I can't believe we were allowed to stay in there. We destroyed an apartment, and to the point where, so the shower that we had about 2 to 3 inches of standing water at all times.
Good. That's what
And
you want.
I basically developed a permanent case of athlete's foot at one point and kind of just let it rot.
Fungus.
Yeah, so now my nails look like
Do you have an idea how
Smeagol's.
gross you are when you have athlete's foot, but you're not an athlete at all?
I mean, I
It's
wasn't being, I'm going to say, I wasn't being seen by a woman at the time.
Yeah.
I was really concentrated on drugs and alcohol
Right.
and doing comedy, and I wasn't really thinking about the long term.
How many days do you think that same standing water would be in there?
Well, never left.
Never left.
Yeah, the scum would kind of go, and then I'd kick it off, but by this point, I just didn't care. It was bad. Dude, it was bad.
Oh, I know.
And
I
then,
know.
but
I'm aware of what we all have done.
But my nails began. I look like you look bad. So now I'm painting them with this. I got to get this antifungal varnish. This is great content.
Yeah.
And I covered
really
there, and they
excited.
really. But I got to say, new lease on life. You're going to see a lot more of my feet this year, Kissel.
Oh, fantastic.
You're going to be fucking looking
I've
at
shown
them.
my feet for the first time since I moved out here. I've never shown my feet before.
I never wanted to, but now
I've become Ed Larson.
I'm taking the shame by its collar, and I'm kicking it out of Henry Zabrowski's house.
Eddie is going through a phase of classiness. I'm going through a phase of trashiness because now I am Ed, what Ed was 20 years ago.
Oh, very
I am
much
now.
so.
And now, of course, Ed is what I was maybe 5 to 10 years ago, trying to be what people want us to be until you realize you're never going to be good enough. So just be you.
Be you. And sometimes you involves you being a total absolute fuck up.
Also, honorable mention, Hosea Zakoreski, one of these Polish names, Zakoreski. She was in a marathon, but she ended up driving her car most of the way.
I saw that.
And
Yeah. That's a real hero.
I love that.
Yeah, I love
I
that
just
shit.
like that. There was also someone in the New York Marathon that just took the subway the whole way.
It's like, what do you want, man? It's just be like, yeah, they're all running. I win.
It's a race.
Yeah, I won the race.
Mhm.
Well, what are you going to do?
What are
Guys,
you
we
gonna
don't
do?
train. So it's just fun news for us.
Absolutely.
Let's get into some listener emails. Now, this is what again, it's time has come up on the show, but this is a fun firsthand experience. I was listening to this week's Side Stories when the topic of hitman rates came up.
Mm-hmm.
I had to write it. So one night several years ago, my parents told me and my siblings that we needed to stay with a relative for a few days. They hastily explained that there was an issue with our sewage tank and that we needed to leave the house immediately. Well, it turned out that was a strange excuse for a much more serious issue.
Okay.
That day, my dad had gotten news that there had been a hit taken out on him.
Oh, my gosh.
I won't go into too much detail, so I can keep it anonymous. But long story short, my dad is an attorney, represented a client who sued this other attorney over a bad business deal. Well, the other attorney lost that case and ended up facing $350,000 in sanctions. Investigators believe that this is what drove him to hire a hitman to kill my father for $20,000.
Attorney on attorney violence.
Yes.
Wow.
The chosen hitman was a local contractor with a known criminal record. When he was approached by the attorney with the solicitation of the murder, he went along with it. Luckily for us, and this does happen a lot, we've seen a lot of this story too, despite his seedy past, murder was crossing the line. Because it's true. We'll say this again and again. When you murder something, it's like, as soon as you murder, it's all over for you.
It's a whole other thing.
I completely agree that you have to be able to be forgiven for stealing, drugs, all that kind of shit, because we all go through horrible periods of life and we become the most horrible versions of ourselves, and we have to have the opportunity to grow.
And I'm talking
change.
murder here, not killing. I mean, you can find ways in life to carve out a good killing.
I mean, whatever. Sometimes you got to.
Sometimes.
But this guy was like, this is all over money. And then this guy saw this, and it was nice because he really chose. He's like, I may steal, but I don't kill.
I don't kill.
Right,
so
he
interesting.
showed up.
So how did you find the hitman?
So it doesn't say how because I think it's the details that make it not.
Right.
But so he met, so the guy that the attorney hired to kill this guy's father, he met with his father, and he said, this guy's trying to hire me to fucking kill you. Right. He told him there's a murder for hire plot out for you. And then they both went to the police. The police had the contractor wear a wire and then the entire plan for the hit on tape. And it was pretty much a wrap. But that's crazy, but the $20,000, so what we talked about here, doesn't seem like a lot for someone's entire life. And it seems to be, and according to this writer, that it has become a tense joke around the house about how little their father is worth, which is, it is sad because now you have a number.
Yeah, but it was a number that didn't get followed through with. So at the very least, that's it. I mean, we don't know if the guy would have been offered $100K. It also, again, just seems like it exacerbates your problems more than anything.
Oh,
so
yes.
I would just say, just pay the $350,000. Go into bankruptcy. There's ways to get around it without killing your
just
peer.
Listen to every con man who's ever made it and just understand you just don't have to pay your bills.
You do die. You can outlast them, I suppose.
That's the idea, is that you just keep delaying.
But you do
delaying.
have to pay your taxes.
Just continue to do your financial crimes, don't murder. They're just like, that's fine. Any other crime you can figure out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, here we go.
You sound like Epstein's lawyer.
Oh, no. Noam Chomsky.
What? Noam
Chomsky.
If a billionaire called me right now, I'm going to go visit him too. Because if he can knock off, if he can give me $1 million bucks, knock off me $1 million. You don't want to go out to eat with $1 million?
I'm checking my bona fides, my friends.
I'll check my bona fides.
Right.
Check my bona fides right now.
Whoa, I see it.
No, that was interesting. The Epstein list is quite
yeah,
fascinating.
Very, very interesting. All right, time slip. It
does, doesn't it?
In 2008, I was in Manchester, England. We were there.
We were there, and I believe that if this story is similar to the ones we've heard, I believe we actually visited it.
Oh, yeah, it was his 22nd birthday, which is Halloween. No. We went to the Liverpool time slip area.
Liverpool, okay.
Yes. I was with a good friend and a group of acquaintances I didn't know very well, and things got pretty rowdy. At the end of the night, everyone was pretty drunk, and the only person with a car offered to drive us back to our hotel.
Good.
I'd had a few drinks, but it was uncomfortable with the drunk person driving us, so I opted to walk. It was a 1 mile walk back to the hotel.
Well, that is enough to get picked up and killed.
Because Manchester's really crazy, too. It can get crazy.
It really can.
Yeah.
I love Manchester, but
it was
awesome.
awesome.
Scary.
When we were on a busy street, I was feeling good, and a walk at 1 a.m. on my birthday seemed kind of nice. A few blocks in, I noticed that most of the people that were allowed in the street had seemed to disperse, and a fog had rolled in. I was alone.
Ooh.
Except for this one guy who was walking uncomfortably close to me. I started walking faster, and so did he. At one point, I stopped at an intersection to look for cars, right? And I noticed that all of a sudden there weren't any. A seemingly busy street before turned into a ghost town. It was just me and this person following close behind me, who was standing next to me at the intersection. He turned to me and had 3 words and said, 3 words I will never forget. Fancy a fuck? No thanks, I replied.
Whoa.
And then the most horrifying thing a woman can hear in this situation. I think you do. I started to cross the street faster and faster, him all the while keeping up with me. I looked around for anyone else, any help, any cars, and there was nothing. I started running. He started running. Then out of nowhere, a couple appears out of an alley. I run up to the both of them and I link into the girl's arm explaining what had happened. They were both dressed in 1960s styles clothes, but I didn't think any of it because that night was Halloween.
Halloween, of course, sure.
So I walked with them for 1 block. At the time, neither of them had said a word. We got close to my hotel. I turned back to look for the creep. He was gone. Then I looked back to thank the couple. They were gone. I noticed that the traffic and all the people that seemingly disappeared before had all come back, and the fog was gone. I was back on a busy Friday night street that I was on before. Now, even though that was horrifying, the weirdest part was this. I beat everyone back to the hotel by 10 minutes. It was a mile away, a straight shot, and I walked back faster than anybody else. I checked with my good friend, and she was there, and she is certain that the driver hadn't taken any side streets or back roads. I have no explanation for what happened that night until I heard a couple episodes about time slips, especially because some of them happened jolly old England.
All right, perhaps a time slip indeed, a bad era that she slipped into. Fancy a fuck.
Very fancy a fuck.
No, I
That's
don't.
Very, very, very scary. Very, very, very scary.
I don't. I'm not a cow.
Just to make sure, we're gonna be out there live, Kissel's out there.
Yes, I'll be in La Brea.
Sunday, May 7th at the Brea Improv.
At the Brea Improv. Please come out, hang out with
You're
me.
filming your crowd work special, right?
No, I
So make
don't
sure you
think
come
so.
if you got a
We
goofy
will.
job or you got a weird fat body and
Yeah.
you want him to really roast the hell out of you, show up front row. That's what he's doing, right?
Yeah, kind of.
You'd be like, well, you some kind of dump truck salesman?
That's a good
That's a free
bit.
line for you.
Thank you. That's going to be my opener. You dump truck salesman? That's fantastic. Yes, Brea Improv. I believe the show's at 7 p.m. It'll be fantastic. We're going to hang out, and it'll be a great time together. What else do we got going
We got
on?
the release, the Butthole Cut tours are out there. We got those
Yes.
dates out. Let's them out. But I do want to push our Australian dates.
Yes,
So remember
please.
that we're coming there live. We only got a couple of tickets left, but we want to be completely sold out by the time we arrive.
Please.
So we got Auckland in August 2nd. August 4th, we're going to Adelaide. August 6th, we're going to Brisbane. August 7th, Melbourne. August 10th, Sydney. And August 12th, we're coming to see you fucking weirdos over in Perth.
There you
And
go.
we can't wait, man. I can't wait to come back to Australia.
Absolutely.
Get new stuff. I'm gonna get new boots.
Oh, get some new boots. That'll be fun to travel with
boots.
those.
Oh, that's what I love to do. I live every day thinking about my little Australian boots.
New shoes.
And I wonder what it's going to be like to walk and talk in them
It'll
and say
be fun.
hello and hello chum and hello friend. You
Their
know, say
feet
that
are-
back and
Their
forth.
right feet are on the left and their left feet is on the right.
It's crazy
Yeah.
over there. And then
It's
I'm
crazy.
going to fucking laugh thinking about, ooh, my Australian boots aren't these nice. Better than my American boots. Oh, they don't get anything. They don't understand anything like I do. I'm from Australia. And then I'm going to fucking laugh. I'm going to love knowing for a fact I kick anybody's fucking ass.
There you really-
Fucking
yeah, you
boots.
can.
Yeah, buddy.
All right,
That's
everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Great to be back with you all. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you all on Sunday. Can't wait. Hail yourselves.
Hail Satan.
Magustalations, everybody.
Oh, see you fuckers.
Be safe. If you have a cow, kiss it tonight. Might be dead in the
I
morning.
might be dead in the morning. His lips will be gone.
Oh, no.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.